you wait a long time to play in these games, and you hope that you hope you have the right mindset, like you need to have to win at this time of the year, and everyone that's in this tournament is. I think they're excited about the opportunity to play because it's one more step towards everyone's goal. Everyone's goal is to win a national championship, and anyone who's playing still is obviously a tough matchup for everybody. So, we've done the best that we can with what we have, and here we are, and looking forward to tomorrow.
The red shirt here first.
Joe Zone, Channel 3 Hartford. Geno, as you prepare for Duke, is there any value in the fact that you guys have 6 common opponents? You've played a lot of the same teams this year?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think their style of play is very different than our style of play. So we may have played the same opponents, but that doesn't mean that their opponents or the opponents played them the same way they played us. All you can do is go by what their strengths and weaknesses are, and they show up over a period of 3 or 4 months, and obviously they beat a really, really good Ohio State team on the road. So, and they're a much younger, much different team than the team we played here last year, and we're a little bit different team as well. So I think both teams will be trying to get to know each other a little bit.
Hi, Geno. Michelle Smith, the next. You've been compensating all season for the number of players you have available. Does that become easier or harder when you get to this time of year?
I think it becomes a little bit harder because what's at stake. If someone is struggling during the regular season and you don't have someone to put in for them, you lose a game, you go home, figure out, and play 2 days later, 3 days later. At this time of the year, if that happens and someone's really struggling and you don't have anywhere to go, your season could end. So it's much, much more difficult right now than it would be a month ago, let's say. But hopefully they've learned how to cope with what we're dealing with. I'm somewhat confident that our 3 experienced players that have been in this tournament, this is their 4th year. Well, Paige is 3rd, but have enough experience to help us get through this.
Lindsay Schnell, USA Today. Geno, you caused quite a stir the other day when you said that Paige is the best player in America. Obviously, a lot of people think it's Caitlin. Why do you think that Paige is the best, and can you also speak to how efficient of a player she is?
I didn't realize I was causing a stir. I bet you if you asked USC, they wouldn't tell you Caitlin Clark's the best player. Bet you if you asked LSU, they wouldn't tell you. Bet you if you asked Texas, they wouldn't tell you. I think every coach thinks the player that's on their team that's helping them the most is the best player. Listen, I've coached the best player in the country a lot more than anybody else coaching in this tournament. It's okay for somebody else to say their player is.
Yep.
If you go by stats, if you go by efficiency, if you go by the entire box score and what she means to our team, playing power forward, I think she's done more for our team than anybody else could have done on our team. And I wouldn't trade her for anybody else.
Emily Adams, Hartford Courant. Do you know, I mean, how different outside of the Paige factor do you feel like this group is coming into the Sweet 16 compared to the one that you brought in last year?
Into the tournament, you mean? We don't seem to be as mentally or physically worn out like we were last year at this time. I think having Paige makes us a little more confident than maybe we were last year at this time. I think KK gives us a different element that we didn't have last year at this time. I would say those two things probably are the biggest difference. There's a lot of similarities too, unfortunately, but it doesn't feel the same. I think our practices and then everything that we've done leading up to this feels a little bit different than it did last season. You know, the whole month of February last year was a real grind for us, and I think our last hurrah was the Big East tournament, and we did our best to win that thing, and then we had a huge struggle with Baylor, and we just didn't have anything left, and we ran into the wrong team at the wrong time. You know, Ohio State was just way better than us, and Duke may be way better than us tomorrow. So who knows? But I think we're in a better frame of mind than we were last year.
Vicky Fulkerson from the New London Day. Geno, obviously things are different now, but you've had like a somewhat colorful history with Duke. Like when you found out you were playing them, did it bring back any memories from Cameron Indoor Stadium or anything like that?
Man, it's been so long since we've been down there. We always had some great matchups with them, you know, whether it was, you know, when Gail was there or when Joanne was there. You know, they were always one of the best teams in the country, and it was always a great place to go play. And, there's great memories of us and Duke playing some great games. And, times have changed. You know, You know, doesn't feel the same.
Going to Maggie first, and then we'll come over here.
Maggie Vanoni, her CT Insider. You know, obviously this is where you guys ended the season last year, this moment. Did you see that loss just digestible with the team afterward, and do you see it hanging over them now, knowing that they're back at this point again?
Well, half the team wasn't here last year, so if it's hanging over, it's only hanging over half of them. So let's hope the other half don't know what happened last year. You know, that's the beauty of playing in the NCAA tournament is if you won last year, you have to put that behind you. That's not going to help you win this year. And if you lost last year, you have to put that behind you, because that doesn't mean you're going to lose this year. Each and every tournament game, each and every year takes on kind of a life on its own, and you have to either be good enough to win that day or you're not going to win. And there may be things tomorrow that we can handle very easily, and we won't have to worry about what we don't have. And then there's going to be things tomorrow that are going to come up that are very difficult for us, because it'll be things we can't handle because of what we don't have. So each and everything has to be done on its own, and you have to figure it out during those 40 minutes.
Coach, Jason Nadi from Adweek. We're a couple years out of the March Madness label being applied to the tournament, increased coverage, and now we have facilities dedicated to actually keeping the tournament on screens. What kind of opportunity does that present a player like Paige? And as you mentioned before, what opportunity does it give her that some of the greats that you've seen come through in the past may not have had?
Yeah, this is the time of the year where every kid can make some kind of name for themselves and for their school. The beauty of our game has always been that you could track those players from freshman year on. You got to grow with them. You saw them as freshmen and saw what they did, and then the expectations were such as sophomores, and the expectations then as juniors, and the expectation as seniors, and you kept being amazed that they could do those things year after year after year, and they go down as one of the greats. Now there's just more eyes on them. There's more media, there's more social media, there's more outlets, there's more people talking about it, there's more hype. There's more pressure on the kids than ever before. I think they weren't under this kind of pressure back then. So you've got a whole new set of circumstances, and it takes a special player to be able to handle all that. And some can and some can't. And as of right now, there's teams in this tournament that have those kinds of players. But the interesting part is everybody's going to tune in to watch whether or not they can. We all believe that they can, but everybody's going to watch to see whether they can. And everybody's hoping for these magical matchups, where you can put them together and start the craziness. It's her against her. Discounting the rest of the teams. It's just like a big one-on-one game coming up. So it's fun for the fans. It's fun for everybody on social media and on TV. But in the end, these kids have to perform at a high level under a lot of pressure. So it's a lot, but it's fun for them.
We're short on time, so this will need to be our last question, Kerry.
Geno, Kerry Eggers, KerryEggers.com. You mentioned the teams are different. They're a younger team, different style. What about Duke concerns you the most? What will you have to contend with?
I think defensively, they're very aggressive. They can force you to play at their pace, at their tempo, the way they want to play. I believe their youth, I think, serves them well. They can move pieces around, get players in the game. They play with a tremendously high level of energy. And to me, a lot of times really young teams are the most dangerous teams. They haven't experienced a crushing loss in the NCAA tournament that they're carrying around with them. They're just free and clear and letting it rip, and let them play. And they have a big win under their belt. So, they're a tough matchup because they've got really good players. They're well coached, and I think they're very confident in their own abilities.
Start with Lindsay.
Hi, ladies. Lindsay Schnell, USA Today. Paige, the other day after you guys beat Syracuse, Coach said you're the best player in America. He is known for being challenging to play for. And so I just wondered, when he says something like that, when he makes that type of proclamation, how much confidence does that give you?
Yeah, it's very humbling. You sort of wouldn't expect him to say it because of what happens in practice and what happens in a game and how much he yells at you during that. But just very humbling, very grateful. Obviously, he's a great basketball mind and has a lot of love for the game, so you respect everything that he says. But again, just trying to continue to get better. I know with him, there's no choice. He always pushes you to be greater than you are, than you want to be, and then you even how great you think you can be. So just very grateful, humbling, and everybody has their opinions. Everybody has their player who they think is the greatest. But yeah, something like that means a lot from him.
Grace Rayner with The Athletic. As a follow-up to that, when and how did you find out that he said that? And then just how would you just reflect on your journey to this point where you are right now in your career?
Yeah, actually I was sitting right next to him, so that was even more surprising because I definitely didn't think he would say that I could hear it. But again, just everybody knows I haven't had the smoothest sailing in college. I've had injuries, a lot of adversity, but just taking whatever life throws at me, continue to conquer it with a great mentality. I've grown a lot in my faith in the way that I approach things and the way that I take care of my body and handle myself off the court. And so I think there's a lot of areas of growth, but just continue to stay humble, continue to stay hungry, and let things like that motivate me to be even better.
Tim?
Tim Booth from the AP. As a follow-up to the follow-up, there's so much talent in the women's game right now. Maybe not who's the best player out there, but for both of you, who's someone that you would pay to go watch play right now?
Everybody. I mean, I got a lot of respect for the great players around the country. For me, it's the freshman class that, it's really impressive to see the spread out talent-wise. Freshman-wise, they're fearless. They come in here and just compete and are stars of the game already. But honestly, I'd pay to watch any team. This is great basketball that we're playing. Women's basketball and women's college basketball right now is at a high, and it's great to see.
I mean, me too. I think even today and this weekend, everyone's going to be flipping through the channels, and they're going to see a great game, whoever the matchup is. So I think just watching women's basketball and just to see how far we've come and how we're changing the game, it's just great to watch. I don't think you really need to pay to see us play and be great.
Kevin Pelton, ESPN.com. This can be a difficult time of year with the quick turnaround between the tournament and the WNBA draft. Is it freeing to kind of have those decisions different for the both of you, but made and out there ahead of time?
Is it? I didn't hear the. Is it?
Is it freeing to have that decision made ahead of time?
I mean, me, I like to live in the moment and stay present and stay locked into what we want to accomplish for this season. But no, I am grateful that I was just able to put it out there. But I want it to be more of a celebration than like a wrap up. Just because we still have a lot of basketball left to play, and I want to really just be present with my team and with my coaches and just with this program for the last month and for the most crucial part of our season, and which is going to be this postseason. We're 2 down. We have tomorrow to play, but no, I'm grateful for what's to come and excited for what's to come in the next level in the W. But right now, I'm just going to stay locked in and stay ready and take on one game at a time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you want me to answer as well? Yeah, I think just having that decision out of the way lets you focus on what's ahead of you and what's right now in the present without having anything in the back of your mind. Like Aaliyah said, we can just put our whole focus into the present and trying to appreciate every moment we have now and just embrace the moments.
Lindsay Schnell, USA Today. For both of you, Paige, to your point about, women's basketball is exploding right now. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that suddenly everyone understands how awesome this game is? And I have a follow-up after you answer this.
I've said this before, but women's basketball, women's sports have always been great. It's just now we're getting the attention that we deserve. Again, you see us more in the media. You see us more on Instagram, Twitter, whatever exists, and people are really starting to just watch. And you see the viewership going up in the games because people are understanding that this is great basketball, great stuff to watch, and it's entertaining. And yeah, I just think we're getting more accessibility in the media, on TV, on mainstream sports TV programs, and so yeah, just I think more availability.
Go ahead, Aaliyah.
Yeah, I think we just also have some more advocates for the game and our game, and we have like NBA players, WNBA players reaching back into the college game, but I think it's hitting at international level too. I know, I'm from Canada, and I hear a lot of praise for not only UConn, my team, but like just the whole NCAA and just a lot of people just tapping into it. So that's also great. But I think our game is just speaking for ourselves right now. And as our skill set is continuing to grow, the next generation is continuing to go out there and be great. I think it's just to come for us.
So then my follow-up is, I appreciate that you both think that women's basketball is worth paying money to see right now. So if you both had to draft one player in women's college basketball that's not on UConn right now, who are you picking?
To join our team?
Yeah, or if you were starting your own team, if you're going to play pickup, whatever. But we're trying to get you to tell us who your favorite players are that aren't Huskies.
I think we bias to our team.
I mean, I have a lot of choices, great choices. I think I would pick Azzi Fudd, Caroline Ducharme, Ayanna Patterson, Janelle Alfie, Aubrey Griffin, Amari DeBerry to rejoin our team.
Yeah.
Any other questions for our student athletes? Go back to Lindsay. Mic on, please.
We're having mic issues. Aaliyah, when Paige said, it's kind of surprising based on how much coach yells at you in practice. You were laughing. What were you thinking when Paige said that? And also, like, when I think you were on the podium also when he made that comment post-game, or no?
No, I wasn't.
But when you inevitably saw it on social media, were you thinking, like, yeah, people need to talk about her more?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I think everyone, especially on the team, just agrees with Coach's comment. We see it every day in practice, and obviously you guys see it when we play the games, but she's a crucial part of our team, and she just makes stuff happen for us and impacts the game in so many different ways. So I'm grateful to play alongside with her and to have these last couple moments with her before I head on to the next chapter. But no, towards his comment, I think that's just how Coach is. That's his energy. He's very tough on us, a lot of tough love on us in practice, but it's like when he does compliment us, it's like, oh, you think like that of me? And but no, as Paige said, it's just humbling. It's always you feel a boost of confidence when you hear that from him. I mean, don't get me wrong, he does mention that to us, but it is very rare. But I think it's just a part of the process, and it's just a part of the standard here at UConn, the culture that he's built. So yeah, everyone loves Coach. We love Coach. So.
And on ESPN.com, Aaliyah, what do you remember about playing Duke here, and what, if anything, can you take from that matchup and then having played in that building, as part of that tournament?
What I remember from playing them last time, it was a competitive game. Obviously, we got the dub, but they made us work for it. And I think what's different is we're two different teams. A year has changed both of our teams. We've got stronger, we've got faster, more athletic. So it's going to come down to specific things. But I think the one thing that we're going to focus on is just playing our game and controlling what's in our control.